Okay, it's running. Okay, and I'm just going to sort the chat out as well. So we've gone and changed everything. Still learning how the new Lillian. So if you want to join us in the panelist room, just say yes to being a panelist, because then you can switch the video on if you want to, because it's very much like a mini workshop where you participate together on this. It's entirely up to you though. You get a lot more out of it. Also, I get to know who you guys are and what you need. Okay. So that's running there. The chat should be okay, or you can just message me in the chat, you guys in the attendee room. Okay. Just going to share the screen. Entire screen up. Hopefully I get my presentation to show. There it is. Okay, there it is. Okay. Ready. All right. Just changing the window so I can see you. So welcome to Marketing and Manifesting Your Business. This is a free webinar. I'm Nicolas Ngan at the Centre for Conscious Ascension. And so the idea of this webinar is to give you a taste of how fifth dimensional businesses run, how we turn Centre for Conscious Ascension into a global teaching business. And the principles we use are based on love and service, and they're completely different to 3D business. Okay, this is just sort of the first couple of hours of the 2-day training we were running in November. And it's a product of probably 50, 60 years of work between our Ariel Haller, who's set up the centre with me, and now runs the Centre of Love and Enlightenment. And we're wanting to share all the secrets of how we learned how to do this work. And it's quite different to what you may be used to from the 3D business matrix. As some background, I used to work at a high level in corporate finance and satellite communications, so I've seen the very 3D way of doing business. And I had to learn everything I'm sharing with you from scratch. And it didn't go so well in the first few years because I had to deprogram myself on the corporate slave matrix. But the idea of this is that you can get out there with your gift of service more easily than I've ever managed to. So this is why we're running this mini training. Okay. Lodi Luna, if you want to join us in the panelist section, you can switch the video on because it's very much a participatory training we're doing here. Just going to, I can see Lillian there. So up until the age of 37, I was very much in the corporate world, very my left brain. I was trained as an engineer. I was in marketing. I was in the space industry, learning how to work out how to make money off vastly expensive satellite systems. That's what I used to do. And I was doing this work on the side. And then one day, this cloud in the shape of an angel flew past my office window in London in the city on a blue sky day, and it sort of smiled at me, almost waved, and I knew I had to leave this corporate job to do this work more. Didn't know how to do it, but it was terrifying, but I figured it out. I left 6 months later, having had to turn it into a part-time job. And so this webinar is a product of 27 years of finding out the hard way how to do this. So to make it easier, you can do it the easier way. I'm not saying easy. Say, oh, I'll become one, and tomorrow you are one. This is an introduction to the introduction, which we do on a 2-day training, of the mindset change that you need to go through in order to be a successful spiritual entrepreneur. And by success, I've defined it as being able to pay the bills and the mortgage, not have to go back, tail between your legs to your 3D job, which we'd all like to do. Okay? Actually making it work. So this is the first couple of hours here. So that's why I'm here. But I want to find out why you guys have turned up. Okay? Because that'll formulate how I pitch this for you. So for you brave souls who've shown up, you just want to say your name, where you're from, what are you up to at the moment in terms of your working in the spiritual realm? And most importantly, what do you need from this? Because we're setting collective intention now. Okay, and then this is for you. So the more you put into this, the more you get. So it's going to be a very rich 2 hours, especially when we do the pair work. You're going to discover an enormous amount about what you're here to do and who you're going to deliver that to. This is what the pair work is about. Okay, it's very much a reflective process, and hopefully you'll come away with a lot more awareness and clarity. That's our aim here. So who would like to go first? Just wave at me. Not a dainty lady wave, a big wave, because I'm a man. I can't see the butter not moving in the fridge. Okay. All right. If it's not moving, I can't see it. So who would like to go first? There's only 4 or 5 of you, so don't wait for the other one, someone else, because you can't hide here. Sarah. Okay, just switch your.
I often go first, so I often pause to wait and see if somebody else goes, so that I don't, overly be the first one. My name is Sarah. I live in New Hampshire. I resigned from my career in not-for-profit about 1.5 years ago, and have been on a beautiful midlife realignment journey. And currently I am in a training program learning to read Akashic records. So that's something that I feel very called to. Have gone through a lot of opening and energetics, including some divine healing with a practitioner locally. And so I feel very called to also offer life coaching and just the guidance and the wisdom that I know in my bones and body that I can give to people. And so I'm in the pre-launch phase with a lot of ideas and a lot of kind of thoughts as to how to package that up and bring it forth in the world. But I'm on the end of having given myself the summer off. So kind of now wanting to focus back into what that all looks like. Thank you.
Okay. Well, an interesting chat. So we'll see how this helps you today. And where are you, Sarah? You based? Where are you based?
I'm in New Hampshire.
Okay. I used to live in Vermont. Not far away.
Oh, beautiful. I'm right on the seacoast section of New Hampshire.
Okay. Who's there? The more I understand about where you come from, the better I come on this for you guys. So it's entirely up to you. Christiana?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Christiana.
Okay.
I come from the corporate world, and I recently had a call. So I'll be joining the Soul Contract in October, and I was really hoping to do that in the future and make that my own thing. And that's it.
Okay. No.
Okay, should I go next then?
Okay, Elizabeth.
Yeah, living in Sweden right now, and I can see myself moving away from here. So I am starting up a business that can move with me, so I don't be so tied up in this country. And I started to create it. You can see my backdrop here is wall art with clay, and I'm using a lot of intention and energy work in those to make those more conscious pieces that are going to help with healing, and using them as a code for people, so they can work together with kind of whoever would like to have some guidance and help on their own. So I can do those wherever I'm at. So that is a product that came up after 1 week of my own, and I started to play with my inner child. So this is so fun, and I really like doing them. So this is something totally new for me, to work with the energy infused in a product and not just selling an ordinary product. So this is really new, and I'm really up for learning more about it. How to make the customers find me and the right customers.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Lillian, I knew you'd talk eventually. Welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm Lillian. I'm also from Sweden, but I'm in Spain right now, and I'm going to Mexico soon. I have my own company. I'm a web designer since many years, and I'm not really sure why I'm here. I was just recommended to jump on this webinar, but I'm super interested in this with conscious ascension, of course, and I have a lot of friends who are also, I think, in the startup of going in this direction. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to introduce themselves? Just put your hand up and I can, or switch your mic on, or put a message in the chat, I'll read it out. And if you want to join us on the video, just click on yes to be a panelist, or you can just hang out in the attendee room. But it means we can connect more with you, just as much as you feel like doing.
Hello, I just sorry for being late. I just connected on my handy, and I can't find all of the buttons.
Okay.
But
Welcome.
we saw each other yesterday, or 2 days ago on it's Merit Plus. So you know, like intuitive. We were making soul contract
Yes.
workshop.
Yes.
So I'm kind of interested in your work, and I plan to connect a little bit more with your institute, and also like I would like to open maybe next year an intuitive business. That's it.
Okay, I got it. All right. So if I give you promote to being a panelist, what happens on your mobile? Does it give you any? Oh yeah, she's fine. Okay. All right. Anyone else? You can put it in the chat if you want. Otherwise, I'll continue.
Now I can see the icon of the camera.
Okay.
Hello.
Now good. Now we can see you. Cool. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah.
It's good to have a face-to-face if it's possible. Okay, so let's get into this. Thank you, everybody who's introduced themselves here. Just going to share the screen again. So we're going to change the interface, so I'm still getting used to this, what I've done to it. Right, so let's start at the beginning. That's why I'm here. I've already said that, because my mission is to help you manifest your mission of service, because God sends hundreds of millions of light workers, but only a very few actually get online. So I'm trying to increase that percentage so that you can deliver your gifts of service. You've told me why you're here, so we've made a good start. That's very helpful. And we're going to talk about becoming a spiritual entrepreneur. So this is just to get you thinking, really. This is the beginning of a mindset change. So what do you think that is? Okay, there are no right answers here, or wrong answers. It's just, what do you perceive a spiritual entrepreneur to be? So I just want to hear from you guys, either in the chat, if you're not on the video, or just switch your video on or wave at me. Tell me what you think. Some more discussion we're going to have here, just to get going. Just give it your best shot.
For me, is that more expressing one's authentic self without any judgment and just putting it out there. It's so calculating the other way to run the business and be an entrepreneur. So this is more like every unique person expressing their own soul essence.
Yeah, being authentic is very important as an entrepreneur, spiritual entrepreneur. That's right. Any other input to the pot here, guys? Just sort of shows me where your thinking is on the whole process.
It's also combining or involving your intuition into your business, or like divine guidance.
Yeah, that's true. That's very much the key for guiding yourself as a spiritual entrepreneur. It's following what we call the spiritual signature, what opens your heart the most in each moment, which is completely different to the normal business process, which is analyzing what should be done and following sort of established business protocols. You have some of that, but following the flow of spirit is the most important thing. Okay. Anyone else? No, we'll go to the next one. So, this is what I think it is anyway. This is my opinion. So, it's someone who is actualizing their soul journey through the expression of their soul purpose through their spiritual business. Okay, so notice this, there's nothing in there about making money. Okay, all right. And someone else has sent me a message here. Okay, what was that? That was you, Elizabeth, yeah. Okay, so basically the idea of this is that your spiritual business is a holographic mirror of your own internal spiritual journey. And if you're conscious of what your spiritual journey is, which you can discover through the soul contract work, and you're conscious that you and the business are one and the same thing, it's one entity, it's one being, one energy. Then when you are conscious of that, then it's possible to navigate this with much more clarity, because your business can only go as far as you've gone emotionally. Most people who run businesses think their business is some separate thing. They go to the office and they have their own personal life. As a spiritual entrepreneur, they're one and the same thing. Pretty much so. So if the business mirrors to you things which are going on in your own life personally, and you clear them emotionally, we use divine healing in this case, it's Center for Conscious Ascension, then you'll notice that the business clears and things move forward. So it's not about forcing or making it happen in the outer world, which is how most entrepreneurs work. It's about working inwardly. Because the clearer you are on the inside, the more smoothly your business is going to run. And the more you're going to grow as well, because it's going to regularly mirror you different things for your own personal growth. Plus, because you're focusing on your soul journey and being of service with the gifts you have, and people will feel that you're here to help them rather than just take money off them. You actually earn a living and probably make more money. I mean, it's a known quantity that companies focus on service make a lot more money than companies that focus on the bottom line every quarter, especially in North America. So that's 3D facts. They've done surveys of this. So as spiritual entrepreneurs, our job is to focus on delivering service with love. And obviously we've got to pay the bills, but paying the bills, earning your living is a few percent behind that. And people will feel that integrity, and then that will come. Because people know when you're just trying to take money off them. When you think about normal sales processes, you know, I get all these spam emails, despite all my filters, want to sell me things cold, and I just freeze on it because I have no relationship with that person or that business. So we build relationships of love and connection to deliver our service. If someone's interested, and then that's how we build our businesses. Okay, so how do you become one? Okay, how do you think you become one, guys? Any ideas? What have you been thinking? Christiana?
I would say by following what you feel in your heart you're meant to do.
Yep, that's true. Anyone else? Any ideas?
I say that you are one instead, because it's all about you. You are the business.
Well, you are the business. You and the business are the same, one and the same thing. Okay. And the key is to follow the spiritual signature, because how many of you feel that you have to go and figure out how to do this business? You have to work it all out. Hands up if you think you have to figure it out.
What do you say?
How many of you feel you have to figure out how to create this new business, which a lot of you are doing? You got to write it all down, got to have a business plan, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so the plan is already in existence. It was designed by your higher self. It's sitting in the higher dimensions. So your job is to get emotionally clear enough to receive the plan that you at another level already designed. So it's not about figuring it out. It's about opening up and receiving that divine plan. And if you do, and you follow the spiritual signature, follow what opens your heart in each moment, you'll notice it starts to work. Okay? Because the chances of getting it right with your left brain, especially if you've had a lot of business experience, is only 50%, because the ego gets it wrong 50% of the time in terms of what's going on in life, as you might have noticed. So it's a toss of a coin if you use your left brain. But if you follow the signature, you're more like 80, 90% likely to get it right. Okay? So that's the first key lesson. I spent many years trying to work it out and following. I was trained in business planning and writing business cases. I try to do all that with my spiritual business, and only half the things will work, the exact ratio I described. But when I learned how to follow the spiritual signature, 80, 90% of it worked. So that means all my effort was actually turning into something useful. But it took me decades to deprogram myself. So I'm trying to speed that up for you guys, okay? Because we're very much influenced by the matrix. So we begin with the end in mind. And I would suggest to you the end in mind is to raise consciousness, to be of service on earth with love. And everything else flows from that. Most businesses are what we call A corporations. They want to maximize return on shareholder investment, which means basically destroying everyone and everything around them, including the earth. So it's got us into a real pickle. It's made a big mess. And there'll be no earth left if they keep going like this. It's like a religious crusade. Got to make the money. No one asks, why do we have to make the money? But it's just like a given. And it's not working. It's not sustainable. So I used to run a management consultancy, spiritual management consultancy, using soul contract work. And we did research, and we realized that they all knew that this wasn't working. This was also unsustainable, but they had no idea what to do about it. Okay. And they wouldn't publicly say it was a problem, but they knew there was a serious problem. So if small businesses like ours start following the signature and start to co-create together and work together with each other rather than trying to destroy each other, which is what big companies do, then we're going to create a better world. And this is the future of business, really. It's lots of small interdependent businesses working together. And the big ones are dying because no one wants to work for them. Millennials don't want to work for them because they're not interested in money. They're interested in the values we're talking about, love and service and connectedness. So, and their turnover is massive. And these companies, they can't keep up with the loss of people. So we're birthing a new earth here with this idea of being a spiritual entrepreneur. So yeah, the end in mind is to serve and deliver our gift of service. Here it is there. So obviously you got to work. How many of you guys are aware what your gift of service is? Hands up. Anyone aware what that is? Okay, Anna's pretty clear. Okay, Sarah. Sometimes it's not clear when you start this what that is. I left the corporate world. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. I just was trained in all these modalities, so contract and work and healing. But I just knew I had to leave. I just followed the signature. And then it sort of gradually showed itself. So you're not going to have the certainty you would like. It's just following a feeling, really. Okay. And so you've got your gift of service. And so it's about delivering that gift of service to your dream client avatar that you love working with and they love working with you. So you need two components in the business. Yeah. Okay. You need your service, which you're sending out to the world, and you need your dream client avatar. This is the profile who wants to embrace and receive that. So we're going to work on these two today. Find out what this is, because you get these two together, then you have a business. Okay? Right, so let's go. Any questions so far on that? Comments? Okay. So what is your gift of service? All right. So who wants to share what they're most passionate about delivering? Just briefly, just so we put a few things in the pot there. Don't hold back, Sarah, if you want to talk, it's fine. It'll encourage others to say their thing.
Sure. I mean, I typed in the chat that I feel like my gift of service is layered, right? It's moved from ideas to some deeper inner knowing, but I also think of it like a layer, like my gift of service may be so deep in 7 years that I name it different than now. I would say one of my gifts of service is really one-on-one interaction and holding space and very intuitively knowing what the other person needs in terms of guidance, like what they need to hear. I have a gift of holding hope for others until they can hold it themselves. And I also feel like I have oodles of soul lifetime wisdom, and that I need to be sharing that wisdom with people.
Okay, you're pretty clear on it. Okay, very good.
Sometimes it doesn't feel clear. It feels great to have a safe space to name and say it out loud, because that is very helpful and I think helps move it in the right direction.
Yeah, it's very easy just to keep it in our heads and just have it go round and around and around. And actually what we need to do is get it out in the world, put the energy out, and then take a good look at it. Okay? Take a good look at it more objectively. Okay, so if you really want to get into technically what it is, the gift of your gift of service can be found in your soul contract. How many of you guys are familiar with your soul contracts? Hands up. Okay, so this is the Hebrew numerology that we teach. It's based on the sound of your name, your birth certificate name. And within that name, you have two important aspects. Hang on, Jenny Marie. Yeah, just switch on the sound. Jenny, you can talk now if you want. Just switch on your microphone. Did you want to ask me something? It's on the bottom left, the microphone. Or you can unmute and just talk to me if you want.
No, you said that if we know about the soul contract to raise your hand, and that's what I did, sorry.
Okay, got that. Yeah, if you want to come in the main panelist room, just saying yes to being a panelist. Same to you, Regina, if you want to, but it's purely optional. Yes, so in your soul contract, there are physical and spiritual karmic aspects and soul destiny. These are the main challenges we face. And in the greatest physical challenges and spiritual challenges we face lie our gifts of service. So whatever we have to overcome, and also in soul destiny as well, because that's very karmic initially. Our greatest challenges contain within us, contain within them, our gift of service. Provided we can bring consciousness to it and overcome those challenges, then we convert them from karma into our gift. So the last place you will want to look is the place which gives you the most pain in life. okay, that is actually where the gifts are. Because your training is to move from the negative expression of that karmic pattern to the positive expression. Okay. So you just go from the negative to the positive. So that's where you'll find out more about that in detail. Okay. So for those of you who haven't got your soul contract, I'll leave resources in the YouTube video description on how to find out what that is. Okay. All the software so you can calculate what your soul contract is, and links for my book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, and then you can work it out from there. Okay. So because it'll get very specific on what you're here to do. How you express that specific pattern, that gift, is up to you. It'll lay out the potential. Okay. Okay. Okay, Cassandra. If you want to join us, you can become a panelist, or you can just stay in the attendee room. Okay. All right. So we're going to do some exercises in pairs. If we've got how many people we got here in the main room? 1, 2, 3, 6. Yes, we've got six in the main room. If you guys in the attendee room want to participate, then you need to become panelists, because I can't put you in a breakout room. We are going to do an exercise in pairs to help each other get to your true gift of service. So what I want you guys to do is when we go into the breakout rooms, which I have to send you a different link, a different Zoom link for that, because the webinar functionality doesn't allow that. But I'll put that in the chat shortly, and then you just click on that link, leave this meeting and leave this webinar and log into that link. Then you'll be back in a meeting room altogether, and then I can form the breakout rooms. There's no way to transition it otherwise than that, I've figured out. So the exercise we're going to do is we're going to work in pairs. I'm just going to check my schema work on this other screen here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Yes, you're going to do an exercise in pairs. We will have probably about 7 minutes where you will share with your partner what you believe your gift of service is. Okay? And then I want your partner to write it down. Okay? Because your partner's going to say, your person speaking is going to say an awful lot in that 7 minutes. And then you have 3 minutes to feed back to them, to mirror back to them what that is. And listen very carefully if you're being mirrored, because you're going to see yourself in the third person, and you're going to see objectively what's really going on. It'll bring a lot of realizations. And then then you'll swap over after a total of 10 minutes, and then you'll go the other way. If you are listening, you'll be saying, well, here's what I perceive my gift of service to be, and your partner will write it down and feed it back to you. Okay. So the idea is to bring self-awareness, to take it out of the mind actually and start to manifest it. Someone else is talking about it, someone's listening, someone's acknowledging. And then we'll discuss it overall at the end. So let me find, I'm going to find the link. Okay. So that you guys we can then create breakout rooms, because the webinar part of Zoom doesn't allow you to do that. Hang on. It's just loading, so it's still loading. I'll just get hold of this link. It's coming up. It's right, it's still going. Here it comes. Okay. Going to find the link now. Here it is. Okay, guys, so I'm going to put this link in the chat. So I want you to copy it and paste it into another document just in case you lose it. Okay, put on a notepad or something like that, or a Word document, and then leave this meeting, or click on that link, or I'll ask you to change. Yes, change. Well, if that doesn't work, then log out of this completely, then click on the link, okay? And then we'll see you back in the new room, which will allow us to form breakout rooms, okay? Okay. So everyone got it? Anyone not got it? Because once I log off here, we're going to lose this. So you must have it. You should have it somewhere else, okay? So out of this meeting, and then I'm going to come back into the new one.
Make people think about different things, stepping stones. And I actually had a sensation where I'm losing my breath when I'm speaking. So I feel like a heartbeat bumping. So it's sometimes hard to say things that, because I feel my whole body's like not there yet. My soul is like all over the place and try to catch up. So yeah, it was very good for me to say things out loud. And it was fabulous having you listen, because you were so great on giving that mirror back and saying so nice things. So, and that is hard to see, that mirror, when something is coming back in you towards you that is very positive. So I enjoyed that. Thank you so much.
Okay, lovely. I just realized I forgot to switch your recording on for the practices. So can Christiana and Lily, can you summarize what your gifts of service were and what was your experience of sharing them, just for the other guys who are not here live?
Well,
Sure.
yeah. For me, when I was speaking about that, I think my gift is about water and how I am starting with this and where it's going. I got some great feedback from Christiana about what else I can do with it. So, and also to listen to her about her projects and gifts, to understand, and also to be able maybe to help some with something there.
Okay, thanks, Lily. Christiana?
Was very interesting, as I mentioned. It's interesting to listening and someone listening to you and then it gives you other perspective and other ideas. She gave me really good suggestions, and I'm taking it. Thank you, Lily.
Okay. All right. Sarah, do you want to summarize your experience of sharing? Because that was quite a good one. If you can get back into that space.
I loved selflessly holding space for someone else, felt like a gift in and of itself. I appreciate the safety that's created so quickly, like-minded people. And I'm thankful for this right place, right time moment, and that it continues to mirror and validate to myself my own intuitive gifts, unblocking and unlocking, and how joyful it can be to put them in the world, because the value was seen and reflected to me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks everybody for sharing. So I'm glad you all got something from that. Connecting with your visionary template, connecting with the hologram of what already exists in the higher dimensions. Because the more you speak about it, the more you focus, the more it downloads. It starts to manifest, because that is your business starting to coalesce into this reality. Okay, it's all about energy here. And you are like the custodian for that to bring this through, because you each have a whole team who's helped you formulate that visionary template, helped you get to where you are in life, brought you to this webinar, because you're ready for the next step with this work. Okay, so now we've got clearer and we have a much more richer 3D, more coalesced gift. Who are we going to give it to? Okay, it's all very well having this lovely gift, but who are we going to give it to? So let's go and do a bit of work on that. Okay, so right, so let me share the screen here. Okay, who is your audience? Got to have someone who wants to partake of this gift. Is there anybody out there? How many of you wondered as you start this? Is there anyone out there interested in what I do? Anyone? Put your hand up if you. I used to wonder that. Is anyone interested? Or you guys are pretty clear. You feel someone's interested. Okay, so.
Sorry, I missed that one.
Yeah. Is there anyone out there? So it's very important to get clear who these people are. We call them your ideal client avatar, the people who are going to love what you do. So you need to get clear, what is their gender, their age range, income level of consciousness. Are they just starting to wake up? Are they very awake spiritually? Okay, where are they? How committed are they to their spiritual path? How spiritually evolved are they? Are they just beginners? Have they been at this for decades or somewhere in the middle? And most importantly, where do they hang out? Where am I going to find these people? Okay, because as you get clear on who they are, then you're going to be able to who the right people are. Then you're going to be able to magnetize them, because they're actually unconsciously looking for you. Okay, they're looking for you. They're looking for the experience you've had of life, because that's the one they want to learn about, how to work through it. For example, my ideal client avatar, a woman between about late 20s to pretty much 60s, 70s, maybe more. Okay. They can afford to do this work, mostly. They've been on the path quite a while, very committed, reasonably evolved, and they tend to seek out the really good stuff in life, looking on Facebook groups, all sorts of different groups. So, and it's been like that for many years. It took me a long time to work out who they were. But when I got clear on who that was, because it's not something we make up what we'd like, it's actually what's there. It's actually, they're waiting for the gift for me to come. And once I understood who they were and focused accordingly, then a lot more of them started to come. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another breakout room session. Okay, same format. So it's 20 minutes in total. Sorry, it wasn't clear before. I realized the computer got stuck on something else. It was rendering a video from the last webinar. That's why the sound was really bad. Is the sound better now? Yeah. So you've got 10 minutes each way. You've got 7 minutes to say who you think these people are. So you might want to write these down, who you think these people are. The main thing is to give it a shot. Okay, just who do you perceive they are now? Because you got to, the thing with being an entrepreneur, spiritual entrepreneur, is just to start. Give it a go. Then you'll refine. Take some action. Who you think they are, and your partner needs. If you're listening, just write it down. They want you to feed it back, because then you're going to make them real, like a hologram as well. You're going to make them sound real. Okay. And then feedback in those 3 minutes. Then swap over the second 10 minutes. 7 minutes. The person listening then says who they think they are. The ideal client avatar is. Then they feedback as well. Okay. So basically, you're getting clear on the hologram of the gift and hologram of who's going to receive the gift, and that's the beginning or continuation of your business. Okay. All right. So let me Have you got all that written down there? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stop screen sharing and go back into these rooms. We seem to have lost Lily. See if she comes back.
She needed to leave, she said in the chat. She didn't know the webinar would be so long. So
She what? She
didn't know that the webinar would be how long the webinar would be. So she
Okay.
probably had something else she needed to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in this case, we can just do the three of you together. So in this case, why don't we go, Christiana, you share with Elizabeth first, and then what we're going to have is Elizabeth will share to Sarah, and Sarah will share to Christiana. Okay, so what time is it now? Maybe we'll make it slightly shorter. Maybe make it 4 minutes. 4 minutes of sharing. Maybe 5 minutes of sharing. 2 minutes of 2 minutes of feedback. Okay, I'll sort of set my watch here. Okay, so Christiana, you're on. Elizabeth is receiving, listening.
Okay. So I believe the people who are meant to receive my services are people that have a higher level of consciousness, because I'm thinking about soul contracts, and for soul contracts, I don't think anybody would be curious to know what's their soul path in here. But I don't think everybody will take the message if they're not on that level of consciousness, on that level of highs or within their spiritual path yet. That's what I believe. I don't think I think anybody could come, any gender, any age. Probably people in the mid-crisis they have, like between 30s and 40s. Everybody has that big crisis, trying to know who we are and what we're here for. And sometimes things start not making sense and things happens in life, big changes during that period, I would say. But I'll think major will be people with higher level of spirituality or a little bit more conscious on that side, so they could take the message a little better when they get it. They have a reading from me from the soul contract.
Okay, thanks, Christiana.
You're welcome.
Elizabeth, would you like to feedback a summary of what you heard?
Yeah, what I'm hearing when I'm listening is that the information that you are receiving to them must be like taken care of, and they start to like unwrap something with it. So it's like starting a process maybe, and so it's just not like an ordinary tarot reading you do like a fix because it's fun. It's kind of more starting the journey, perhaps, is what I'm seeing here. And probably can be something that is also more coming back to you again as well, not just leaving you there with that soul contract reading. So that might be some kind of connection between those people, so you start working together is what I'm kind of getting from it, because when you unravel all of these crisis that is like that is continuous after that. Been there, done that. So it feels like you perhaps can give them more, to be supportive for them in another way. That is what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
How was that, Christiana, to hear it that way?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Okay, thank you. All right, Sarah. Okay, so Elizabeth, if you could share with Sarah who you feel your ideal client avatar is with what you know right now.
Oh, I
Okay.
haven't thought about that so much, but it is. I can see that I have people that have come quite a bit far on their own, with their own inner work, but they haven't had so much of a guidance, because I can see when I feel when I'm talking to my friends, they're like doing this journey on their own, and I'm so consciously doing this like in a whole other way, this process of awakening. So I can see that this is like a stepping stone between going by yourself, receiving this product that starts processes in them, and then they kind of continuously come to someone like Christiana, that like a stepping stone for them, so things will happen more gracefully for them. That is what I'm kind of wanting. So I'm also in the upper class where they have kind of income, because I'm not going to price this for the product, I'm going to price this for the time that I'm putting into it. So it will be more in kind of investment for a long-term partnership with the persons that are buying them. And they are probably pretty spiritual, so they can know the meaning and get the right feeling and taking action. When they're seeing this, receiving the name and the feeling of it, they can take action right away. That is what I would like. Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, do you want to feedback what you heard?
Yeah. So I would say the thing that jumped out at me the most is that they are not just buying a product. This is not just the physical thing. This is a catalytic moment in time for them. And that buying from you is really maybe the first step or an important energetic step on the spiritual path and journey that they are having. Ready for action was the last thing you said. So it's does not feel like you have a passive consumer or a whimsical consumer, that it's a thoughtful person that you are describing in the process of moving from, you said awakening, but it's moving from one place to another place, and that you're part of that full journey.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. How was that, Elizabeth? How was that, Mara?
Yeah, I can really feel that. Also, like she said, not wincing around, like, because I know I want people to use them as, they need to know that there's some processes going on and recognize them, changing them. So I need some kind of awareness as well. So yeah, it felt like you find the the reflection. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, Sarah, do you want to share with?
Yeah, this is a great pushing of my thinking at the right time. I've thought about it a bit.
Who are they?
I think that my clients are 95% women. I think that they are in their mid-30s to, let's say retirement-ish age to maybe just a little bit post-retirement. I think that their income level is such that they can either afford my services without thinking about it, or are so committed to investing in themselves that they are fully comfortable with the investment of being my client. I think that their level of consciousness is, I think of it more as self-curious and self-aware and self-reflective a person, maybe than on consciousness terms. One of the things that I question and haven't really unpacked fully is, you know, who am I for, right? So I have been comfortable in talking in the realm of vibes and energetics and all of that for a really long time in my own life and with my husband and family. I know not everyone is, and so I have started to wonder, you know, am I for those people, or maybe not? You know, I really would like a person willing to do the inner work that I think would be needed for them to transform and be on a different path in their life than just coming and talking to me one-on-one. I don't want someone coming to me that's not willing to do their own inner reflection work, I guess is how I would sum that up. So that's a high degree of commitment to their own life path, whatever that looks like for them, right? They want their lives to be better, different, feeling more aligned and in flow than they are now. I'm looking at the other questions. So how spiritually evolved are they? Yeah, so maybe that means they're not starting at 0. They're starting at, I don't know, they're at least 25% in to something, whatever that something is for them. Where they hang out, I would say, I don't really know, although I go to float tanks pretty frequently in my own community, and I've had some lovely, amazing conversations in like the meditation room after the float. So I think that my people are in places like that. One of the things I've been thinking about for my business is just where do I show up locally? And, you know, you lived in Vermont, like there's pockets of amazing, beautiful communities who are like this and like-minded. And so is part of it just a matter of me showing up in those beautiful places where those self-reflective humans are, and just being open to those conversations.
Okay,
I'll stop there.
very good.
Thank you.
All right, Christiana.
So I hear you saying that this should be more for women, and I would say I would disagree unless that's what you feel comfortable with, just working with women. I think everybody seeks help. I've been seeing from both sides, people seeking for help, not just women, men as well, kids, adolescents. Why not offering to everyone? I see that you don't probably have maybe yet a specific group. I see a lot of people working on 9-to-5 jobs, needing help, that guidance that you're probably going to give them, that I'm hearing from you. Why not putting out there in LinkedIn, for instance, social media, Facebook, Instagram, what you do. There's a lot of people there nowadays. Nice short videos, 30 seconds, saying what they need, and what you give them that can make their lives better and guide them. And I think maybe you hit your public, the people that you want to hit, and you get a community like that. I don't know if I get the point, if I didn't miss anything.
How was that?
I think, you know, I don't think of one thing you said, I think is maybe an important distinction for myself. You talked about like what I can give them. You know, I really want to not be the one giving anything, if that makes sense. I want to be the one enabling them,
yes, opening them up, right,
into their own inner self,
yes,
to then flow into what they can. You know, I think when I was talking to Elizabeth before in terms of the whole, you know, who am I for? I'm like lifelong feminist, Sarah, with a lot of natural mom of girls. And I think that for now, at least, that's where my intuition is starting with women. A lot of maybe wish to help with the breaking through and all the cultural and the society. Like, there's a lot on women's shoulders right now. And I think because I have the experiential truth of what that parenting and expectation and everything myself that I've gone through, maybe until I trust my intuitive gifts and learning more, starting with women feels like both intuitive but a very safe choice. Yeah, it just feels like where I want to start.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting to get the questioning perspective from someone else to see, you know, what hits in terms of inner knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So how is that overall, having it mirrored your perceived client avatar? Sarah's given a good answer already. You get to see it more. How about you, Elizabeth? And
What do you say? What was the question?
how does it feel to have your client avatar mirrored back to you?
It feels good. It makes you, like Sarah said, it makes you like thinking about the small little details sometimes that is kind of shifting a lot in frequency, so you're hitting the right frequency for the people. So it's good to like putting it out there, saying things about it. And I can see now when I'm seeing it, like not going local with this. I will do projects later on that are pretty local. So this is like also fun, just thinking about, oh, the worldwide, it's everywhere and just
Expanding.
yeah, and it's so cool when you can see that it's like it's an illusion anyway. So yeah, I can just like make them up, but it's good to how will I make them up? How can I like find true value? And making this like love swirl around. That is what I'm going through. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Christiana.
I feel like it gives a perspective that what really the world needs. So we already have our customers out there, ladies. So
You do.
we just need to focus and do our jobs, and I think we'll do great, basically. Because there's always people who needs us, no matter what.
Yeah, there's someone who's looking for you. You're always
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting clear who that person is. So,
Yeah.
okay, excuse me. Very good. Very good. Okay, so let's go back to screen sharing. Okay, so we've got an idea of who these client avatars are. Okay, so we've done the exercise. So talk a little bit more about what we're going to cover in the actual 2-day training on the 2nd and 3rd of November. You've just had the first couple of hours. We have more time than we do here to do that.
Yeah.
So it's getting clear what a spiritual entrepreneur is, which you've got a better idea now, following the spiritual signature, doing what you love to do, to deliver your gift of service, okay, to the right client avatar. And we'll talk about things like dissolving the ego, because remember, it only gets it right 50% of the time. So it actually is an obstacle, really, our egos. Understanding how our home energy is important. It's 50% of what creates our reality. Getting clear on the audience, which is just what we did there. And as you get clearer, how do we actually connect with that tribe? We'll talk about that. It's about moving out from the ideas and concepts into actually starting to make this happen. And we talk about how business success is an inside emotional job. So an inside job, the whole thing, in what we do. And reconciling the feminine and masculine components within us to deliver our gift. We have a feminine gift, but we need a masculine outer package to deliver that gift to the world in terms of marketing, learning about the balance between the two. Okay. And staying connected with the trading energy and the conscious community that you'll join to support you, because we Lightworkers are programmed to do it all by ourselves. Sound familiar? If we don't need anyone like us, we'll do it by ourselves, but we grow and develop ourselves much faster in communities. How to escape from the corporate matrix, because a lot of people coming to this work are wanting to escape that or in the process of it. And what is the most effective form of marketing for you? Because everyone has a different style. Why business names are so important, because using the soul contract work, we give you an overview of how they can attract the right type of customer, the niche customer that you just spent the past 2 hours identifying. And then, okay, now that you've got clear on all that, okay, because what we're doing is laying out the fifth dimensional landscape of all the pieces you need to actually deliver your gift. How do we roll these out to the market, roll out your services to the marketplace? What are channels to market? How do you reach specific niche markets? What are sales funnel webinars? How do they work? Okay, we use these very effectively in the Center for Conscious Ascension. We share how we do this. Okay, this is how we build a global business. And what's your spiritual business plan? Not the physical 3D plan. What's the spiritual business plan? How do you put things together? And then we also have guest speakers who are some of my practitioners who are very experienced spiritual entrepreneurs. And I'll talk about things like back office systems, websites that embody your true energy to attract the right client avatar. And then they can also talk to you about how they can hold space for you. As I said earlier, it takes about 18 to 24 months to make the mindset shift, okay, to deprogram yourself from the matrix so you can be in that attracting space. So these guys are very experienced in helping you actually do that. So all these ideas, or these things which excite you, actually turn into a viable business eventually that actually pays the bills, feeds the kids, pays the mortgage. It's a big step. Okay, it's a massive step to do that. And it's not something you can reinvent the wheel and work it out yourself from experience. I tried to, and it cost me a lot. If I had some of these guys around that time, my life would have been a lot easier. So any questions on that? That's just sort of an overview of what we're going to cover in 2 days, on the 2nd and 3rd of November. It's pretty fluid, but it's going to lay out that environment. So at least you know the landscape, because there'll be some stuff in there you may not be familiar with at all, which is critical to your success. No comments, questions? You may not be any.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go on, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I was wondering about the efficiency of the search engines. Like when you're using your website and putting all those words in there, like CEO programming, so you can find all the people out there. Is it really as efficient as your own intent, finding those peoples? Should you use both, or?
Well, we don't do SEO. Well, I'm exploring doing it. We use the sounds of the names of the services and products and the websites. We optimize them with the soul contract reading work, so they act as multidimensional attracting force fields, and people come anyway.
Yeah.
It's much more powerful than SEO. because you're working multidimensionally. SEO is very 3D. And by using the right attracting energies, people will find you anyway without Google.
That is what I had in mind. That is what sounds right in my head.
Yeah, this is we explain how that works, the concepts of how that works. So it's far beyond SEO, the way this work goes. It's all about energy.
Yep.
Okay.
Good to hear.
So they'll find you on the 9th page of Google, and they'll be drawn to come to you because you put energy out there multidimensionally. That's the most powerful way, and you can program the sounds of your products and service website names, trading names, to attract the right people, and they will come, provided you're emotionally clear enough yourself. So you're out of the way, so that the ego is dissolved enough so that the higher consciousness, your visionary template from your higher self, can come through you, embody, and attract the people. So you're like the ground crew for a much vaster consciousness and team. Okay, it's not just little you sitting in your body doing this at all. You're delivering service, and so it's all about the energy and the right sort of energy. Okay. So do the SEO. I'm going to eventually, but I haven't had you so far because someone said it might be a good idea. But we just use energy. So
yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Not like it. Okay, let's just wind up here. So if you're interested in coming, the next one is run a couple times a year, 2nd and 3rd of November. Total fee is £367, about $462 US. There's a deposit of £124 at $156 US. And we have payment plans as well, using PayPal, Pay Later. You can pay in 3 or 4 monthly payments, equal payments. And you can find out more at marketingandmanifestingyourbusiness.com if you want to know more. You guys can email me. You have my email address from the registration. If you want to find out more. We have a lot of fun because it's people find that when they have the structure of how they're meant to create this 5D, fifth dimensional business, then they get the confidence to actually start to do it. Because so much is unknown, especially if you've been, say you have been working in the corporate world. They don't teach you this in school, but the aim here is to show you how to structure your business, so it's actually going to give you a much better chance of it working. Okay, all the things that actually matter. All right. So hope that helps, and maybe we'll see some of you guys there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
It's lovely.
We'll
Thank
get the
you.
recording out in the next few days. Okay.
Okay.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.